What spiritual lessons do you think Yoda has to help you shine your light, to help you grow spiritually? You know, when you think about it, he's this little character in the movie. I have Baby Yoda with us, and Baby Yoda reminds me of Yoda and the wise self. I know they call him Grogu in actually the TV show, but Yoda has amazing spiritual lessons. He's actually quite a profound spiritual teacher in a lot of ways if you really go deep into what he says. Okay. Well, I'm Deepa Liu. I'm the creative mystic. And I'm all about helping you shine your light. I want to give you tips and experiences to help you step into that next level of light that you want to shine, because I have come to realize that shining your light, stepping into that, because shining your light, stepping into your purpose, your holy calling, is the most important thing that you need to do while you're here on the planet, because we've all come here to shine our light. We just sometimes don't know how, or maybe we're afraid. And that's what the Creative Mystic podcast is all about helping you shine your light. I've gotten real clarity in this, and I'm moving forward with it. All right, so let's get right into it now. There are two main spiritual lessons that I have found. Well, I should say two that I'm going to talk about today. These are the two most important ones that I have found that Yoda has to talk about. You know, and I got inspired to talk about this topic in a meditation. I was meditating, and all of a sudden I was meditating, and out of nowhere, these words dropped into my consciousness of try not, be or be not. There is no try. Now, if you're a big Yoda fan, you're probably thinking that's not his quote. It's not exactly his quote. His quote was, try not, do or do not. There is no try. Now, when that floated across my consciousness, all of a sudden there was also this level of, oh, I get it. Okay. What I get that Yoda was trying to teach us a spiritual lesson. Now, the way it came to me in meditation made me realize, you know, what has to be done to be able to step into that phrase of try not, do or do not, there is no try, right? Because you probably have heard that and thought, wow, yeah, how do you actually do or do not? How do you have that conviction, that level of knowing how, because what comes up when I think why people will not do or do not is because they think, I don't know how. Okay. That's why, well, so I'll try, right? Have you been there before? You trying to learn something new, or I should say you're learning something new, not trying to, you're learning something new. And maybe someone says, go do this thing, like whether it's an instrument, or maybe you want to shoot a YouTube video and you're trying to do it in a certain way, right? Or maybe you're learning something with your job, some new skill set. Maybe you're a painter, like I'm a sacred artist, so I paint, and I get these visions, and so sometimes I get in the energy of like, how do I create what I saw in my mind's eye? How do I create that onto the canvas? And so there could be a trying energy, or an experimental energy, to get what I saw in my mind's eye onto the canvas. So maybe yours is an instrument. You hear a song, you're learning how to play it, and then you think, oh, I'll try it, and you'll fumble up and you'll get worried and you feel funny or discouraged because maybe you're not having this level of success. Well, when that floated across my mind, try not, be or be not, there is no try, I realized that was Divine Mother, that was Mother Mary giving me a divine download of how we can step into this Yoda lesson of, do or do not. Have that energy of like, you're going to do it, right? Rather than try it. Now, first you have to understand, why do you get the energy of try, right? You try because you're afraid you can't do it. You try because you're fearful that you're going to look foolish. Maybe you're worried about what other people think, so you don't want to say you're going to do it because you don't want to look arrogant, or you don't want to, look like um, you're, you say you can do it when you can't. So maybe it makes you think you're not going to keep your word. I can't tell you what it is for you, but it's something like that. It's either you're fearful of what other people think and you don't want to look foolish, you're don't feel good enough, so you don't think you can. There's different ways. Now, if you're working with me individually, I could help you. Or I should say, my spirit guides will zero in on the very issue, because my spirit guides, that's when I work with people, they zero in on the very issue of why you're having a challenge of stepping into that next level of whatever it is you want to do, be, or have in shining your light and what you want in the world, in your life. Okay. So, but here I want you to get, it's one of those things. You're not feeling good enough. You feel like you don't want to look foolish and you're worried about what other people think. Those are some of the reasons why. But what you have to do is you have to be it before you can do it. Now you're going, but how can I be it when I don't know how? Okay. Now the spiritual lesson from Yoda is about, I don't know, hopefully I can get baby Yoda to give you what I wanted to show you. If you know this baby Yoda at all, doesn't look like baby Yoda is cooperating. There we go. Oh. Well, baby Yoda, there we go. Right? That's baby Yoda doing it, but what are they doing? They're activating the force, right? They're getting one with the force. Now, what is the force? We all know, if you're spiritual, if you're a spiritual seeker or a mystic, the force is representing the divine presence, the universe, God, whatever you call your higher power, Buddha, Allah. It's about connecting with that, right? Becoming one with that. And, how does that get you to actually do or do not? Because that, when you connect with the divine presence, okay, that's where you're going to connect with the beingness of it. How do you be it? You be it because all the knowledge that ever was or ever is equally present in all places at the same time. And I tell people, that's what I talk about, tuning into the ethers. All the knowledge that ever was or ever is already here right now. Okay, it is here right now. And if you vibrationally tune into the ethers, tune in the divine presence, connect with spirit, okay, then you can get a download of how to actually start to be it. When you actually connect with that, you can start to, use your power of imagination, power of visualization. All those are superpowers that you have. So Yoda, it was trying to teach Luke Skywalker how to tune into that vibration. It's got nothing to do with the size you are. Remember that scene in Star Wars where, you know, Luke Skywalker doubts Yoda that it can be done. Oh, you want too much. I can't remember the exact words. It's been a long time since I've watched the movie. But what does Yoda do? Yoda tunes into the Force and lifts that spaceship out of the waters, right? And so anything is possible when you tune in, when you connect, when you are awake in your oneness with divine presence. So, if you want to shine your light, you have to start getting clear on what do you want to be. Okay. And then tune into that vibration. Take action too. I tell people, because the beauty about do or do not, or about beingness, is it's all about consciousness. It's all about energy, but we can help reverse the process with doing, like, yoga postures is one of the ways, is because yoga postures is reversing the process. I don't know if you know this, but yoga postures came out of yogis attaining high levels of consciousness, and their bodies went into these positions. So it maybe they may have felt like the divine consciousness of joy or of love or peace or power, and their body went into these positions. And so what we're really doing with yoga postures, if you do them in a spiritual intent and consciousness, is we're going into that posture, that position, to bring out that level of consciousness in us. That's why we do them. So when you do things on the physical plane, it can help start to shift your consciousness. It's a slower method when it's not done from something that came from higher consciousness. Okay, so it's too much to explain in this video. I think it's something I'll probably talk about in a later video. But I want you to get that it's all about consciousness. So in order to start to be it, be or, or be not, it's about, like, how do I shift my consciousness? And the first thing you can do is to start to tune in and connect with what you believe in is your higher power. So for me, for instance, one of the things I do is I'm very connected with all my spirit guide portals. I have found that they zero in on the very issues that my clients have, of what's blocking them more than I know as a human being and my little ego self, right? And they also give guidance about how to overcome it. So whenever I'm having my own personal challenge, now I'm human, I forget sometimes, but when I remember, which is more often than not now, is I go tune into my spirit guides and I ask, all right, spirit guide, who wants to help me? Okay, who wants to answer this question so that I can get out of my little ego questioning, oh, can I do it? Am I not good enough? Ego self, little self, and get into the divine vibration, the divine consciousness. So Yoda's big lesson is that you've got to connect with the force, right? That's connect with God, connect with divine presence, connect with Mother Mary, spirit guides, whatever is your connection. Now, mine, I'm very connected to the divine feminine, divine mother, Mother Mary. I get lots of visions of Mother Mary, but yours may be different. You may be the angels, or maybe you're Buddhist and it's about just, like into this open expanse. Because I know Buddhism, I started in that place. For me in the beginning, God had no form. And as I've ventured out and expanded my spiritual gifts through, my sacred art and creativity, new things have opened up for me. And that can happen for you too. I want you to get that. This can happen for you too. You can do this. So, so I want you to start to think about what is the thing in my life. And I'd love to see that in the comments. What in your life are you wanting to manifest more of, or be different in? Maybe there's a habit you want to change. What is that you want to manifest? Okay. And then think about, who do I have to be, to be that? Now you don't have to change yourself. I want you to get that. This is about who do I have to be? Because that who you have to be, you already are. Okay, I want you to get that. You already are this, but it's covered up by all your programming and all of and that programming is your emotional wounds that you've gotten from traumas and experiences that have hurt your feelings, or some other kind of trauma. Okay, it could be more than just hurt your feelings. Could be programmed you for thinking there's something wrong with you. If you've grown up in a family that's very critical, like criticizes a lot, you may have that. I grew up with that. I grew up thinking for years something was wrong with me because I grew up with a father that was very critical. Now, he didn't mean to give that to me. He grew up in an environment where he was criticized a lot. So he did what he knew and did it and thought he was probably making me a better, person by criticizing me. But the truth of it is, if you grew up in a highly critical environment, you may think something's wrong with you, like you're not enough. And so that will stop you from actually being who you truly are, even though everything you desire, you already are. We just have to help you let go of that programming, let go of the emotional wounds, because that's what healing is letting go of what's no longer serving you, that's stopping you from shining your light. You've got to let it go, okay? And that's one of the things I do with my coaching clients. This is not therapy, so if you have huge trauma, you got to go to a therapist, someone who can help you with those traumas. But if you're at a place where, I know these wounds, I'm ready to let them go. I know it's time for me to change my belief system because that's holding me back, but I need support. That's when you can reach out and I can help you. Like, feel free to take advantage of my complimentary next step connection call that's in the show notes if you're ready for that. But let's talk a little bit more. Let's get back to the spiritual lesson about being or be not. So if you want to be or be not, so you can do what it is you desire, you want to shine your light and go to the next level of growth, You have to start to tune into that vibration. You have to get a little clarity in your own mind. Like I said, what is it? That's why I answer those questions I just asked you. You know, what is it that you want to manifest in your life? And who do you think you have to be for that? Because whoever that is, you already are. But then you have to start to use your power of imagination and visualization to get into that vibration, to be it. Now, I tell people creativity is one of the biggest things that awaken my spiritual gifts. If you've ever heard my story, okay, I'm not going to share that here now, but you know, you can watch some of my other episodes and it's in there. But I want you to get that it's about owning this and start to imagine it. If you can imagine it in your mind's eye, great way to start. But you might be someone who's not good about, right, imagining in your mind's eye. I know I wasn't before. You know, several years ago, if you'd asked me to visualize something, a guided meditation, or see it in your mind's eye, nothing. I would not see a thing. Okay, because I wasn't visual. I am now. I get visions all the time in meditation of spirit guides that want to come forth, but I wasn't then. So if you're someone who's not, and that's okay if you're not, because how you're wired is how you're supposed to be right now. And there can be a process to open those up. But one of the things I recommend, if you're not visual and you can't see things in your mind's eye, you can start to paint. One of the things I say, this is not about being a great artist. Don't have to be a great artist at all. You can use little stick figures. Is you can get a little visual journal like this. I'll put a link in the show notes of where you can get one. I'm an Amazon affiliate. If you buy it, I want to say thank you already because it helps me out. Okay. But you can use this little visual journal and you can get little watercolors. I'm going to show you that too. This I haven't been able to find anymore because I've had mine for a lot of years, but I'll put a link in there too for watercolors that in case you want to try this. It's one way. If you're not visual, you can do it. You can also do this if you're visual because it's really fun and it really gets you into that beingness even more, is you actually paint what you want to be. So one of the things I've done is like I've got this energy flows where attention goes to remind me to keep my attention on what I desire. And I say I keep my attention on my true heart's desires and goals. Okay. I want to be a blessing in the world. So I have a little vision and writings of I'm a blessing and you paint it. Now, not great art. See, stick figures. You're not worried about it being good because you want to let go of that good. You just want to get into that energy so you can be or be not, okay? Because that be or be not, when you get into that vibration, you get downloads, you get confidence, and then you can actually do what you want by being it first, okay? So that's the first lesson that Yoda has that I felt like was one of the main spiritual lessons you need to learn if you want to be able to manifest what you desire. You want to grow spiritually and start to awaken your spiritual gifts. You want to start to look at those things. Lesson number 2. Okay, lesson number 2. Yoda said, you must unlearn what you've learned. You must unlearn what you've learned. Any idea what you think that means? Love to hear your comments of what you thought it meant before you get to hear what I think Yoda was what Yoda was teaching. Not think this is what Yoda is teaching. It's this is a spiritual truth. It's one of the things I work with my clients with because it's the hardest thing to unlearn what you've learned. Now you might be thinking, why would I want to unlearn what I've learned? You know, like it took me all this energy to learn it. Now, I'm not talking about if you went to college, okay, and you learned it, but some of that you might have to unlearn because I will tell you the education system teaches you how to be an employee, not necessarily be an entrepreneur. So, or to shine your light fully. They teach you how to get a job and to go work for someone else. If you want to shine your light fully, it may not be working for someone else. It might be, and most likely is, I will tell you, is to shine your light fully. It could be having your own business. It could be maybe creating a nonprofit organization. I don't know what it is for you because I don't know you personally yet. I would love to get to know you. So please share in the comments. If you're ready to get support, please reach out to me because I love to connect with people. I would love to connect with you. Okay. So you must unlearn what you've learned. It's about unlearning the programming that you were given, the false beliefs that are not based on spiritual truth. If you really want to shine your light fully, you've got to start unlearning the beliefs that are holding you back. Okay? We all have them. You know, you've been given them from the age of 7 and below. Anything you saw, heard, experienced, overheard, okay, has programmed you. Now, if you have any kind of emotional wounds, those are the big things that are really like controlling your behavior and not letting you shine your light. And you can tell when you're doing that, where you're falling to your programming, is anytime you're having fear, anxiety, worry, anger. I might be missing one here, but all those are signs that you're coming from your subconscious mind, from programming rather than what's true in your heart. In order to shine your light, you have to do what's true in your heart, and you haven't been programmed to do what's true in your heart. Okay. So you have to unlearn what you've learned. You've been programmed to do what's responsible, do what keeps you safe. Okay. Go get a job. You know, now I am not telling you not to go get a job if that's your calling and you want to do that. You know, I'm talking about, it hasn't been about, check in with yourself and what's your true heart's desire? What are you feeling called to do? What is that pull, maybe that intuitive pull that you're getting, or guidance, that little soft voice that you have to listen to? You know, there's so much noise out there between, you know, in fact, kids today, their parents take them to, you know, all kinds of things, soccer, music lesson, this, that. I mean, I talked to some parents and they take their kids to 4 and 5 things. The kids don't even have time to check in with themselves and to know what's true in my heart. Is this really the thing? Now, don't get me wrong. They come to you and say, I want this, right? But you don't know, is that a true heart's desire? Or is that because every other kid is doing it? You know, because we get programmed to look outside ourselves, to follow what the crowd is doing. But following the crowd is never going to shine your light. It's going to get you with the crowd. Okay? So you must unlearn what you've learned. The beliefs that you have from your emotional wounds have to be unlearned, have to be healed too, healed and unlearned. The things that you've heard from your parents, like, here's the big one that has to be unlearned. Okay. I'll believe it when I see it. Heard that before, right? What that's saying, what that belief is, what that's saying that you hear a lot of people say is, I'm going to believe in what I see with my physical eyes before what I can sense is true on the inside. You know, because everything is energy, and energy tells you more than what you see with your physical eyes. In fact, your physical eyes can be fooled, right? There are illusions that happen, uh, because like if you were in the desert and you weren't having enough water and were overheated, you would start to maybe see a mirage of something that wasn't true. There's, you know, you can see brain things where they'll show you that they're showing you the exact same picture, but with one background it looks like one color, and with another background it looks like a different color. You know, but that's not true, right? It's your eyes are being fooled. And so, and spiritually, if you're a mystic, a spiritual seeker, you know, someone who is really, really wanting to start to live by spiritual truth and be able to manifest what you truly is in your heart's desire, want to, you know, have that joy and that success that you desire, you have to let go of believing what you see first. We have to teach you to unlearn that, you know, because that's holding you back. That's preventing you from shining your light. So another big thing that people have been programmed to do is to only buy what they can afford. They say, oh, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. I can't afford that. Now, I'm not telling you to get into debt. Okay. And I'm not telling you to buy things on credit cards. What I'm telling you to do is, when you say I can't afford it, you're cutting off any ability to move forward. What you want to do is start to go, okay, well, if that's a desire I have, I want to, and I'm not talking about desires of trying to keep up with the Joneses or doing stuff because other people doing it. I'm talking about true heart's desires, things like, I know it's for me to shine my light and start to, you know, like create this own business where maybe you're a healer or a light worker, or maybe you want to have an invention that you have that's going to transform people's lives. Because I'm always about helping people step into their holy calling. And your holy calling doesn't necessarily mean you're a healer or a light worker. I believe everybody's a light worker at some level, but yours might be an invention that can transform people's lives. You know, the washing machine many, many years ago transformed the lives of women, because instead of having to wash everything by hand for hours a day, they could put it into a machine and it got washed within, you know, an hour, and they could go off and do something else while it was being washed and then come back, throw it in the dryer and do something else, and then take it out and just fold it and be done in, like, you know, with the amount of time they have to put into it, maybe half an hour as opposed to hours, you know. And so you want to realize that shining your light can mean many things. And I'm about, what's your light? If it's an invention, I want to, you know, I want you to shine your light in creating that invention. If it's become a light worker and help people heal, I want you to do that. You know, like my shining my light is helping you to step into shining your light. And there's different levels of that light because we're always growing and expanding. But in order to do that, like I'm always working on myself. How can I unlearn what I've learned that's holding me back? Because that's what you have to unlearn: the belief systems, the fears, because those fears come out of a story that you're telling yourself of something that you believe, and that you've learned by seeing somebody or hearing somebody tell you something or experiencing something. But you were doing it all based on false truths. And that's why you've been maybe stuck where you are and haven't been able to shine your light as brightly as you want to. Because shining your light is this continual process of having it be a brighter light. And so it's not like like you already are it, and it's just about increasing the wattage of the light. And so you want to be looking at that. So those are the two main lessons that I wanted to share with you, that I got from Yoda. I've got some other ones, but this is what we're going to talk to you about today. But I'd love to hear if you've watched Star Wars and Yoda. Was there a spiritual lesson that you've learned? You know, share it in the comment. I'd love to hear it. And are you ready to shine your light? All right. So remember, greatness is within you. It's time to shine your light. Okay. If you resonate with what you hear, please subscribe, share, or like. Really helps me. Have a miraculous day. Blessings.